Hi, good morning. So, it's been a while since I have made a video about some Gorean topic, and I wanted to make one. Now, please forgive the picture quality. I have tried repeatedly to make this video, but my internet connection continues to give out on me, so I have just decided to film this offline and then upload it. Anyway, the topic I want to discuss were the role of Gorean Free Women in the Gorean lifestyle. Now, of course, I do not mean role as in role-playing role, because I've already discussed that that has nothing to do with the Gorean lifestyle. What I mean by role is what position, what place is there for a free woman in the Gorean lifestyle. Now, let me begin by addressing one of the very common misconceptions. A Gorean free woman is just a privileged slave. This is wrong. Now, yes, in the books, there are some places where the free women are little more than privileged slaves. Where, for example, it's common to, if a free woman don't obey, to have her sleep on the floor and almost freeze to death, or chain her outside naked so men can rape her, and other such pleasant things. And while there technically are laws preventing men from just enslaving anyone in the city, there are so many loopholes in these laws that anyone can. And if you follow the idea that a free woman is free only as long as a man wills it, then she is a slave. Freedom is not something anyone can grant you. Freedom is something you have to come and claim for yourself. Now, we have to look at the difference here between the philosophy that's presented throughout the Gore books, where freedom is celebrated as something that you fight for, something that you claim, and the things that are added because while your Norman claim otherwise, the Gore books are erotic novellas. They are meant to be stories where all women are willing and any man can have pussy anywhere he goes. So yeah. Now, if you look at other places in the Gore books, you will find places where, for example, free women in a captured city are given the choice between death and slavery, and very many of them actually chose death, and this is considered a very honorable choice, because men and women are considered to, how should I put it, the values of freedom doesn't change if you're a man or a woman. It is just that more men will put the value of freedom over their own lives than women. If you look at history, this makes sense. Men are the hunters, they are the warriors, and they are the expendable ones. Let's be frank here, and I don't mean any disrespect to men, but the bottleneck in population, that's the women. Because a man can impregnate dozens of women, while women take 9 months to carry out one child to term. So, from nature's point of view, men are the leaders, they are the go-getters, they are the ones that are willing to risk and sacrifice their lives, while since a woman's life is, from nature's point of view, more valuable, she is also less likely to be willing to sacrifice it. And this is what is considered when you say the order of nature and man and women's different values. A woman have to think about her safety, have to think about the safety of her offspring, while a man has only his honor and his freedom to consider. Of course, it doesn't really work that way in a modern society, but these concepts, they are ingrained in us. They are a part of who we are as human beings. And my camera is crooked. There, that's better. Anyway, so yes. No, free women aren't slaves. Yes, there are more women who will be okay with slavery than there are men. You can say that the concept of slavery is more natural for women than it is for men. But that doesn't mean that there aren't women who would fight just as hard to remain free, who are just as free in mind and soul as there are men. So, yeah. The same comes from that idea that all free women are just waiting for a man to enslave them, yada yada yada. No, not all free women are waiting for a man to enslave them. There are a lot of women who would never be happy as slaves, and who doesn't desire to be slaves, and have never been slaves. Now for me, I have a desire in me to be a slave. But there are things in my life, like my occult studies, which are more important. So I could never dedicate myself fully to a master, and therefore I cannot be a slave. Because being a slave, that's a path of selflessness. And there are things I want for myself that I cannot give up, that I cannot leave in the hands of others. But let's move on. Now, I've been asked a few times, why a free woman? But what point is there to be a free woman in the Gorean lifestyle that seems to be all about the slaves? Now, first of all, the Gorean lifestyle is not all about the slaves. The popular culture, if you would say, it's about the slaves because that's the sexy bits. The Gorean lifestyle is about following the philosophy you'll find in the Gore books. And a free woman can follow those philosophies just as much as a free man. Basically, what a free woman is a woman who have found something in the Gore books that speaks to her soul. And she feels that, whole or in part, these books, though a crappy piece of fiction, has an underlying philosophy in it that is true for her. And she decides to follow that lifestyle, but she does not desire to be a slave, so she is free. Now, is a free woman and a free man equal to one another? No. Goreans believe that equality is the same as, well, same being the same, and a man and a woman are not the same. In the Gorean lifestyle, the men are the leaders and the women are the followers, and this is true also for a Gorean free woman. For example, very many free companions, they live in a way similar to a 50s marriage. He is the protector, he is the family leader and the head of the family. She is his helper. She is the thing he fights for. And he would be willing to lay down his life for his woman. So, to be a Gorean free woman is to be submissive to your free companion, or if you don't have a companion, to a man. But as a free woman, you choose. And of course, anyone in the Gorean lifestyle chooses because you have to be consenting. But what I mean by choosing is that If I meet someone who claims to be a Gorean who is an asshole, I don't have to respect him like a Gorean slave girl do, because I am a free woman. I am a Gorean in my own right. So I can decide that no, he is not my peer. Now, Gorean man I consider to be my peer. Would I obey him? Yes, to a certain degree I would. That does not mean I would obey him if he said get down on your knees and do things with my sexual organs. But to a certain degree, yes, I would respect him and his wishes. But as a free woman, I am also expected to take full responsibility for my own actions and my own choices, so I choose who I respect. The role of a Gorean free woman is to be the companions, the mothers and the sisters of Gorean free men. We are free in our own right. We make our own choices, we make our own decisions, but we are still women. And as Korean women, we do believe that a woman should be submissive to her man, but it is on another level than a slave. A Gorean free woman is submissive to a man the way a Viking wife was submissive to her husband. Yes, he was the ruler of the homestead, but she definitely had rights. She ruled the kitchen, she ruled the home, and he would listen to her counsel. And if he mistreated her, then he would probably have her family on his ass. So, yes. Now, how should a Gorean free woman behave? Well, there's a lot of debate on that. Some feel that a free woman should be demure. She should not show much sexual interest, because in the books, free women are very sexually oppressed. And yeah, it is even said someplace that uh, a woman a woman's sexuality is so powerful that a man would not feel comfortable if it was free. So if a woman is to be a sexual person, she would have to be enslaved, or she would be a threat to man. And yeah, so in the books, free women very often goes covered up head to toe. Not all places, it's not all places that they cover their faces, but in most places they will not show shoulders, they will not show much skin. In most places, if a woman acts overtly sexual, she will be enslaved because this is considered to be slave-like behavior, and so on. I consider this to be part of the fiction, not part of the philosophy. And the reason why it's part of the fiction is that it makes very much sense in a society that is pre-industrial. Because then you have the whole concept that if a man don't know that his wife is if he doesn't know that if his wife is faithful, then how will he know that his children are actually his? So there is a need to keep a woman's sexuality controlled. In our day and age, this is not a need. So for me, I don't care how a free woman acts. When it comes to sexuality, I am a sort of sexual person. Next, sorry for scratching, I have a rash on my nose. So yeah, I personally think that a free woman should reflect her household. And if she have a free companion, she reflects him, and if not, then she reflects herself. And she should behave with dignity. But dignity doesn't necessarily have to mean that she has to dress conservatively and act conservatively, but she should not go ballistic in arguments. She should not throw insults every which way. She should be a lady. Now, I've heard also some people say that how a free woman should dress should always be conservative, you know, skirt past knees, silk blouse, well, perhaps not silk because some people think that's slave-like, well, a nice blouse, pearls, and a blazer. Well, I'm a goth. So, and I know a few others who are goth free women, and being a lady doesn't mean you have to be conservative. It is more with the way you act and the way you conduct yourself. Does that mean you have to just sit and take it, whatever people say to you? No. But when you engage in a debate, whatever that is, online or offline, you are polite. You are factual. Do I always manage to do that? No, I have a temper, but I try. So basically, I think that a Gorean Free Woman should be a lady. But what exactly you put into being a lady, that's up to you. So, yes. Now, before I end this video, I should address what a free companion is, because there seems some people don't have a very good grasp of that. A free companionship is what you find in the Gorean books, and it is their equivalent to marriage. It is basically a free man and a free woman who make a contract to be together. Usually a free companion couple will act like any other married couple. They will be lovers. Sometimes they will have children together. And they will share each other's lives, each other's homes, and so on. Now, usually the woman is submissive to her free companion, and he has some power over her. But she is also a woman in her own right, a free person in her own right. Now, unlike most typical marriages, but more similar to some pagan marriages, a free companionship is renewed on a yearly basis. So, if the parties to the relationship, they promise to be together, and they usually have some sort of ceremony to mark this, and then they are bound together for 1 year. After that year, they decide whether or not they want to renew the contract. And yeah, so that is what a free companion is. It's basically a Gorean version of marriage. So I'm sorry if this video has been a bit rambling, because it's a big topic and it's not that easy to cover in one video. So to sum it up, a Gorean free woman is not a slave. Some Gorean free women will wish to be slaves, others do not. Some Gorean free women have been slaves in the past, others don't want to be slaves. Now, technically speaking, any unowned women are a free woman. But to identify as a free woman, to sort of take pride in that, you have to be a free woman, and that is not just an unowned slave, but somebody who really appreciates their freedom. So yeah, what else should I cover? Oh yeah, the title of lady. Now in the books, all free women, and especially those of high caste, were addressed as lady. And it would often be something like that, as if you had, let's say, a metal worker named Yaron. You would have Yaron and his lady. And the free woman would often be referred to as Lady Lena, for example. Is this common in the Gorean lifestyle? Not that much that I've seen. Though, for a lot of free women, using the title lady for non-Gorean submissives is an acceptable alternative to mistress. Slaves generally do not use the term lady, they use mistress. And really, lady is not much used. I have been called lady a couple of times, but nothing more than that, and I do not use this term to refer to myself. Though if you are identifying as a slave, a lot of Koreans will frown upon you using a nick online which contains lady, because it is considered to be a title reserved for free women. So yes. Now, one thing more before I end this video, because it's getting long. Are free women Goreans in their own right? Now, some people have claimed that you have to be in a free companionship with a man to be considered a Gorean. I call that bullshit. If a woman lives by the Gorean philosophy, she lives with honor and integrity, and follow that philosophy to the best of her ability, then she's a Gorean. If she then wants to identify as Gorean, she is a Gorean just as much as a man is. I would say that for a slave, you need to have a Gorean owner to be considered a Gorean. But for a free woman, she is free in her own right, and she has just as much right as a man to following the Gorean lifestyle and identify as a Gorean. Yeah. So again, sorry for a bit jumbled up video, but I hope this clarified some things. I wish you all well, and blessed be.